My name is Richard, and I'm doing a little thought for the day today, based for Monday, 14th of November, based on Psalm 46, which you will certainly recognise as being set to the famous hymn, the Dam Busters hymn, as we often call it. Okay, so let's just mull over this psalm and think about its origins a bit and what perhaps it inspires us to do. But first of all, let's read it. And I have the NIV version here, NIV version. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice, the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us, the God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. He says, "Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." Well, there we are. Words I'm sure you recognise as we sing that hymn very heartily, don't we? Because we do just love to raise our voices to praise God and see his strength and wonder. But let's just have a moment's thought about how this all came about, because it was a bit of a story how it got to be in the hymn books. Of course, we do believe that the Hebrews probably sung psalms like this as they ascended the steps up to the temple, because some of them are called songs of ascent, so quite deliberately a rousing chorus that they could all sing very heartily. And of course we don't know, have no idea what music they sang it to, or whether it was just a chant. But anyway, it didn't have music to it until old Martin Luther had a go, actually, and he put it to a tune and called it an anthem, which he called "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." So very much based on this theme, and so they had a go at singing it as well. And then Johann Pachelbel, also in the 17th century, he had a go at it and wrote a good tune to it. You probably remember Pachelbel from his Canon, which is quite a well-known tune. And then, believe it or not, Mozart also had a go, and he wrote a tune for Psalm 46, but it didn't particularly survive in published form, although people have seen original scripts of it, I think. But anyway, we don't sing that anymore. But then it wasn't until old Eric Coates came along, when he was busy around Second World War time and just after, writing marching songs for the RAF. He was on a kind of commission to do that, and he loved to write very sort of full-on marching songs for the RAF because he was a bit inspired by Elgar, so he liked that sort of pomp and circumstance type tune. And so he wrote the tune, and about the same time, filmmakers were making the Dam Busters story into a film, and they called up old Eric and said, "How about we use your tune as the theme tune for our film?" And allegedly he turned them down twice because he thought that was rather a trivial use for his tune. But eventually they persuaded him and probably wrote out quite a big cheque as well. So he let them have the tune, and of course then it became hugely famous as so many people saw the film and really got the tune into their heads. So there we are, we know it jolly well now, and people whistle it and sing it quite readily from memory. So that's how it came into the hymn book. Well, not quite, because it took Richard Buse a well-known preacher and also writer of hymns who had several times used words from Bible stories and texts to inspire his hymns. So he took on the challenge of putting Psalm 46 to Eric Coates's tune with a little bit of adaptation, but not too serious, just to make it fit the rhythm and the music better. And that's how it found its way into the hymn book, and we sing it on our services. But let's think now about actually what the words tell us, not the music. But so this is all about God being our strength and refuge, and a strength in all times. And perhaps we don't quite have the same thoughts as the Hebrews did when they were so afraid of all the nations surrounding them that were intent on trying to eliminate them and destroy them. I mean, that was their whole history then, wasn't it? That they just turned to God entirely to be their fortress, and they saw him residing in the temple and being, must praise him there to give us the strength to fight off these enemies. Well, perhaps we don't have quite the same view now. We don't believe our country is threatened by other nations all round us trying to destroy us. But perhaps we should look for our enemies more inside us than externally. And do we need God's strength to deal with those? I'm thinking of the enemies of temptation, indulgence, self-indulgence, feeling we're always in control of everything, and just wanting everything to go our way. That's perhaps the enemies that are inside us, and we need to turn to God as our fortress and strength against those. So I think that's what I'd like to really dwell on, I think, in this, what the psalm says to me. And I think it's hugely important that we don't regard God as just a fortress when we're in dire danger and, or we're falling down the big dark pit. But every day we should turn to God just to guide us, give us strength to face every situation we meet. And I did a little thought on this same psalm some while ago, probably a year or two ago now, and I suggested to everyone that they might like to sing a rousing verse of this psalm in the shower every morning. But possibly nowadays we want to get out of the shower and not waste too much hot water quite so readily. So maybe that's not such a good idea now, and I'm not sure if people really followed it. But anyway, let's just recall that we should turn to God as our refuge, our strength, and our fortress at many times, not just in deep crisis, but just to guide us and help us with dealing with those internal enemies that are always trying to drag us down. So have a think about what or who is your fortress? What do you need a fortress against? And who might we turn to for strength in that? So that's my final thought on that, I think. So God bless you. Have a great day, and look for your refuge, your strength, where you would hope to find it. Okay. Bye for now. Bye.